Hello class, have you gone through the previous lecture video of internet programming where we have taken the overview of syllabus, then started for the first chapter Introduction to Web Techniques. In that, first of all, we have gone through architecture of computer networks, that is client server architecture and peer-to-peer architecture. Then after that, we have seen what is a client and what is a server and which are the different types of servers. Then whenever client has to access information or data from the server, web server, then it has to make use of an application program that is called as what the browser, and we have seen the different types of browsers also. Then using browser, client makes request to the web server for getting the information or any web page or data we can say through a protocol, that is the HTTP protocol, and that request we can call it as a HTTP request, and web server processes that request and sends response to the client, and that response is again by using a protocol, that is the HTTP. So that's why that response we can call it is what? That is the HTTP response. Now let us continue the topic here. Now what HTTP request contains? HTTP request contains header line, blank line and optionally message body. Header line is divided into three parts. First part is the name of the HTTP method. Then path of the resource which is to be accessed. And third is the version of the HTTP protocol. For example, here GET is the name of the HTTP method which is used for retrieving a required resource from the web server. Then second part we have shown here, that is the /database/page1.html, which is the path of the resource, that is the page1.html. And then we have specified the version of the HTTP protocol, that is 1.0. Then second example, post/test/form1.php HTTP/1.0. Here this first part is what? Name of the HTTP method. Post is the HTTP method which is used for sending some information or sending some resource to the web server. Then after that we have specified here the path of the resource, that is form1.php, and in the third part we have specified the version of the HTTP protocol, that is 1.0. This is the format of HTTP request. Now let us see the format of HTTP response. Again, this HTTP response is divided into three parts. In the first part, we have to specify version of the HTTP protocol. The second part is the status code, and third part is the reason phrase, which is a short message. For example, here HTTP/1.0 200 OK. First part we have specified the version of HTTP protocol, that is 1.0. Then 200 is the status code. And what that status indicates? It indicates the response status, whether it is get executed successfully or any error is there, or any unauthorized error is there, or whether that page is not page found or not. Okay? So these are the different types of status code. Here we can see that 200 status code is used for success or OK. Whenever that page is get reviewed successfully, desired page is get reviewed successfully, then it will return that status code as a 200. Now suppose if that page not found, then it will return a status code as a 404. Okay. So in this way, it will return the status code. After that, it will return a short message which is called as the reason phrase. Now this 200 is for what? Success or OK. So it will give response as a OK. And if this status code return is 404, then this reason phrase will be that not found, resource not found. Okay. So this is the HTTP response. Now let us go towards introduction to PHP. PHP, that is hypertext preprocessor language, which is a server-side scripting language. That means these scripts are employed on server to give customized response according to the client's request. PHP is a cross-platform. As PHP code is responsive and compatible to all major operating systems and databases. That means it can work with Linux, it can work with Windows, it can work with Mac OS, as well as it can work with many major database management systems like MySQL, PostgreSQL. So that's why it is called as what? The cross platform. And we can embed HTML code inside the PHP programs. So that's why it is a HTML embedded scripting language. Now what PHP can be used for? What are the applications of PHP? Now we have already seen that PHP is a general purpose programming language. So we can write server-side scripts using PHP. And when we write server-side scripts, then to work with it requires PHP parser, web server, and the web browser. The user needs to run the web server with a connected PHP parser. And the user can access the PHP program output with a web browser. Then we can write command line scripts also using PHP. And the user can make a PHP script, that command line script, to run it without any server or browser. That means for execution of command line scripts, it does not require any server or browser. Only need is the PHP parser. And we can execute these command line scripts if we consider the Linux operating system, then using shell. We can execute these command line scripts. Then after that, we can write desktop applications also using PHP. But actually, it is not the best suited for the desktop application. It is best suited for web applications or web development. Now, there are different features of PHP. In that, as we have seen that PHP is a cross platform, then it can work with all major operating systems. It supports most of the web servers, including Apache, Microsoft Internet Information Server is there, and etc. And also, it provides a freedom for choosing between OS and web server also. That means we can make any combination of operating system and web server. It also provides choice of using procedural or object-oriented programming. In previous video, we have seen that when we have discussed the syllabus, then there is a chapter Introduction to Object-Oriented Programs in PHP. Then we have seen that PHP is a procedural as well as object-oriented programming language, and we can use the object-oriented concepts in PHP programs. Now the output of PHP program. It can be in any form. It is a HTML page. It can be an image. It can be a PDF file or Flash movie or any text also. Again, PHP supports wide range of databases. It supports MySQL also. It supports PostgreSQL also, and again many more. Then it supports network protocols as PHP. The major beauty of PHP is for web development. Then it has to support the network protocols. It is free and open source language, and large websites can be developed in a reduced amount of time by using PHP. Now let us discuss how PHP works. Here in this diagram, we can see that client makes a HTTP request through the browser. Then that request is first of all pre-processed by the PHP processor, or we can say PHP parser, and then server sends the response. That response is in a form of HTML. Here in this diagram, we can see that client is requesting for the page1.php. Here, that is the HTTP request has been sent by client here. It is first of all pre-processed by the PHP preprocessor, and then server sends response to the client in the form of, that is the HTML. And in this way, this PHP works, where it requires a browser, PHP processor, or we can say PHP parser, and that is what the web server. And we will stop here. In the next lecture, we will see the lexical structure of PHP program. Thank you.